हरे हरे। ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अर्जुनविषादयोगो नाम प्रथमोऽध्यायः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Kritida Sundari Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the beautiful recitation of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Sundarangi Radha Devidasi from Canada, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Let us move to our next session, which is Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined this mid-morning?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna Kritida Sundari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the beautiful recitation of chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita. And thank you for all your wonderful services, Mataji. And welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Kirtida Sundari Mataji, for that very, very nice meditative morning recitation of Bhagavad Gita. That was so beautiful. Thank you, Sundarangi Mataji, for your warm welcoming. This is Preeti Vilasni Devidasi from Atlanta, Georgia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Pritivilashini Mataji, please accept my pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all your wonderful services and all your inspiring words for each of us. Thank you, Mataji, and welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Dandavat Pranams to all devotees here. This is Sumi from California.
Hare Krishna Sumi Mataji, please accept my pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your sweet association to us. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण सुंदरंगी राधा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So good to hear your voice in the mid morning call also, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yasumati Priya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your services. And thank you so much for joining and giving your association every day, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and what pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada Saludev Vijay Vrinda from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna Brinda Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Shall I start, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Acintya Gopesh Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam Madhya khanda 22 number chapter and text number 83 to 91. Before handovering the call to Prabhuji, I would like to read today's quote of Srila Prabhupada. So today is 5th March. And Srila Prabhupada has written, God's another name is Ajita. A means not and A means not and Jita means conquered. Nobody can conquer God. He conquers everyone. But devotees can conquer. Although God is Ajita, he becomes Jita, conquered by his devotees. New York, March 5th, 1975. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Prabhuji for your valuable time and association to us this mid-morning. Now I will hand over the call to you Prabhu. Whenever ready, please take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Thank you one and all for this wonderful opportunity. So we'll start with invocation prayers. Om Ajnanatimiranandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaye Tadbhaktaye Namo Jayatam Surator Pango Mamandamatir Gatihi Mat Sarvasva Padambojo Radha Madharmo. Hare Krishna, welcome everybody to today's class on Chaitanya Bhagavat. Very happy to be among all the devotees. This is very wonderful association and a very wonderful opportunity to discuss a very sublime topic. So I'm very happy to be here. Today we are reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat. We are reading the Madhya Khanda. In the Madhya Khanda, we are in chapter number 22, text number 83. So I'll try and project that and then we can start. Right. You are able to see this? Text number 83.
Yes.
So we are in chapter 22, which, as you have been hearing, deals with the intricate relationship between devotees. Specifically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has externally sort of, with the example of his own mother, Sachi Devi, demonstrated the effect of Vaishnava Aparad and how prema cannot be received without Vaishnava Aparad. And it goes on to glorify Nityananda Prabhu and his activities. And internally also looked at the dynamics between different services of different devotees, where sometimes they bring Krishna closer to a devotee and sometimes Krishna goes apparently externally far away from a devotee. So we are at a place where the reason for the difference in opinion is being explained, and that pertains to Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother, Vishwarup. And Vishwarup Prabhu was, he is going to take sannyas, and we are reading before that particular incident. And this 83 to 91 displays some of the very wonderful, shall I say, transformations. First, it describes the different state of consciousness of people from this material world to people who are, striving for spiritual world. From the material to the Brahmavadis, there is a whole range of consciousness where the consciousness is stuck, and that is being elaborated. And that is being contrasted with the heart of a devotee and a Nityasiddha devotee or an expansion of the Lord, whose heart is set on service of Krishna. And this is one contrast that you will see. between the consciousness of people who are between material and up to Brahmavan. You'll see that contrast of that with the devotee. The second thing you will see in this about 8 slokas is also the transformation of a heart of someone becoming a sannyasi. What transformation goes into the heart of a person before he becomes a sannyasi? And all of this can be very nicely seen from some of these verses. So we'll read a few verses and then try and discuss on them. Text number 83. व्यवहार मदे मत सकल samsara न करे वैष्णव यश मंगल विचारा. Everyone was intoxicated with pride over ordinary activities. They did not engage in the glorification of Vaishnavas. Ordinarily, people intoxicated with material conceptions did not care for the glorification of the most auspicious devotional service of Vishnu. Such people were absorbed in material activities, so they could not understand that the Vaishnavas are certainly most exalted, most elevated, and most glorious. So we know this even when you load the ladder of Bhagavad Gita. Initially, the consciousness of a person who's just in about how to enjoy the material senses, those people are called Dvipad Pashu. They are not even in the standard of human being. Then comes a stage where they do some so-called karma kanda rituals which are prescribed in the Vedas, that is just to turn them towards God, where they do it, but they still do it for some personal material benefit. So they do some yagna to become famous or to get more money or to get a beautiful wife or a husband. So do a lot of karma kanda, right? Such people are in the line where we say below the human standard. They are all intoxicated with material conception. What is the root? The root is Bhagavancha, the propensity to enjoy individually separate from Krishna. And because they are trying Bhagavancha to individually enjoy separately from Krishna, they try to exploit the energies of Krishna or exploit the material world. Such people do not believe in the exact opposite, which is Seva Vancha, which is how can we serve Krishna. And so they don't discuss devotional service. And they don't also hence recognize people who are doing devotional service as exalted. They look at Vaishnavas and sometimes they are escapist. Sometimes they say they are sentimentalist, because in their understanding, people who are exploiting the material energy and who are trying to get material benefits are the people who are most exalted. People who are rich or people who are very handsome, people who are very powerful and are exploiting the material world are the people who are very high. So this is the first stage of consciousness. And that is being, is what was on display. And when Vishwarup was seeing all of that, he was not very happy. पुत्र धीर महोत्सवे करे धन व्ययाया कृष्ण पूजा कृष्ण धर्म केहन जनाया. They spent their wealth on festivals for their sons and family members. They did not know anything about the worship of Krishna or devotional service of Krishna. Material people consider the removal of distress for enjoying the fruits of karma as dharma. Fathers thought that whatever wealth they had accumulated should be spent on marriages and on other occasions for increasing the happiness of their children. None of them accepted their accumulated wealth should be spent for the worship of Krishna or to achieve knowledge of devotional service to Krishna. What to speak of them, even today, many thoughtless people consider that helping people who are suffering the results of their karma is superior to worshipping Krishna or achieving knowledge of devotional service to Krishna. When you look at Karma Kanda, or even if you go slightly higher, when you come to the human platform, there is Karma Yoga, where people try and dovetail their activities as per some of the recommendations in the scriptures. The difference between Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga is that in Karma Kanda, in one of the differences, there are many ways to describe this. Karma Kanda, they are doing ritualistic activities, but the point is to get something for themselves. There is no great conception of God. It is all about getting.
Whereas in Karma Yoga, the thing is that if I am doing something, some part of it I dedicate it for the supreme being or the devatas or somebody who is the greater controller, some Ishvara. This is like paying government taxes, which means we recognize there is a government. We recognize some part of our money should be given to the government. Nobody likes it, but because it's a duty, they give something. So there is no question of love there. But we are receiving heat, light, sunlight. So I have to do some karma yoga. There is some prescribed duty. So I do prescribe things as a matter of duty, like paying taxes. And sometimes that is mistaken as the primary dharma. For example, Kanyadan or getting a girl married is also a very dharmic activity, especially if the dharmic activity there is you are dovetailing your girl to live along with a boy and execute dharma. That's why the person is called dharma patni or dharma pati, that they are coming together to execute devotional service, which is the supreme dharma. But instead of understanding that, sometimes it's all about arranging a very pompous festival, spending a lot of money, and displaying a lot of wealth. And they consider that I am doing my dharma very well, without understanding the ultimate objective is to engage in devotional service. It becomes a way of material enjoyment rather than dovetailing that money. How does a devotee do that? The devotee utilizes the same activities of marriage and others to distribute books, to feed, to give prasadam to devotees, to bring together everybody, do a very nice kirtan. The same things are utilized by a devotee in the service of Krishna. They are utilized by people in karma kanda and karma yoga, very different. So again, when Vishwarupa is seeing all of this, he is not very pleased. यथाध्यात्मक सभा तर्क से व्याखाने कृष्ण भक्ति कृष्ण पूजा किचु न जाने. All the teachers simply indulge in useless argument. They did not know anything about the worship of Krishna or devotional service of Krishna. While attempting to establish prominence of useless mundane arguments, the learned teachers fail to understand that service to Krishna and worship to Krishna are supreme. This is also the symptom of consciousness being stuck in some parts of Jnana Yoga and emphasizing on certain aspects on the individual soul or on the fact that Brahman is all pervading and emphasizing of oneness of the soul and the super soul. There are many things as knowledge progresses, like they say, right? We say in that Bhagavad Gita class, right? There is this example we give that there was a train, right? We give the example of a train coming into a station, right? In the olden days, say 100, 150 years back, first time a train was coming into the village, and everybody in the village wanted to see the train and say that I have seen the train first. So everybody gathered in the station and they were looking. The first set of people, they saw some headlight, some light coming out, and they had only that much realization. They ran into the village and said, I have seen the train first, and the train is just a piece of light. Then some people stayed even further. They saw the train engine coming with a bit of smoke. Then they all ran into the village. They said, we have seen the train, it is engine and smoke. And then the people who stayed further, they saw that the train has bogies and there are people inside. And the train is actually for transporting people from one side to the other and not just light and smoke. So they understood the train in full. Similarly, the example is given, Vadanti tad tattvavidas tad vijnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdit. When one is going in, his conscious going in, reaches the chitta and goes beyond senses, mind, intelligence, false ego, the place where soul is connected first and then goes beyond, Drishtvā evan atmanishvare, goes beyond, he first sees light, Brahma Jyoti. It is like one is in a dark dungeon for centuries. When the gate opens and the guy goes outside, they only see light. And it seems like he has gone into the light. But he has not gone into the light, he has gone into a different city.
So similarly, they see only Brahmajyoti and they argue that Brahman is everything. And the soul actually goes and merges into the light. This is Brahmavada argument. And some people say God also does not have form. God comes under Maya and takes a form. That is Mayavada argument. All of these people don't believe in devotional service because they are focused on simply doing useless argument. Whether soul is the individual soul is same as God, different from God, merges into God. Then you go further, they understand the engine and the bogie, they see Paramatma. And when they go further, they understand the real service of the train to transport people. They understand the real service and relationship with personality of God at Bhagavan. When you understand Bhagavan is when devotional service starts. Then you come to Bhakti Yoga from Jnana Yoga. Otherwise, you are stuck in Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, where you argue on various parts of the scripture. And that is what the greatest of Brahmavadis and one who established Mayavada, Shankaracharya, said. He was walking and he saw an old Brahmana or one of his disciples sitting and reading the scriptures and doing grammatical jugglery and arguing. So that is when he said that Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Modamate, Tam Prapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rashyati Drigging Karne. This drigging karne, this grammatical jugglery is not going to save you when you reach the end stage of life. You please chant the names of Govinda. Please chant the names of Govinda. Please chant the names of Govinda. That is the only thing that is going to save. So in the Jnana Yoga stage, sometimes people are stuck in useless argument, even though they are reading from the scriptures, but they do not recognize Krishna and devotional service. Text 86. यदि वा पादयाकेह भगवद गीता सेहन वाखाने भक्ति करे सूक्ष्म चिंता. Even though some taught Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, they did not refer to devotional service, but simply engaged in dry speculation. In spite of teaching their students Vaishnava literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachers displayed external consideration, engaging in useless argument and dry speculation rather than thinking their own benefit. So, next, in the next stages, whether you look at Ashtanga Yoga or you look at preliminary stages of what you call Prakriti Bhakta, they sometimes discuss Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. But they use Bhagavatam to get into some yogic speculation. They read Kapila's explanation of Sankhya and try and get into Sakya. They sometimes look at different explanations of different planets and different enjoyments in different planets, and also different siddhis to get some siddhis. They explain Bhagavad Gita in a very yogic manner, and they take Kriya Yoga, Raja Yoga, and some of these things, but they do not focus on the ultimate end, which is devotional service. Now here, we will pause and discuss this further because this is very important. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, two things have been spoken of. Now, if you look at Bhagavad Gita, what is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita? If I start with a question, I've asked this many times. In the Bhagavad Gita, does Krishna ask Arjuna to fight or not fight? What does Krishna ask Arjuna? Does he ask Arjuna to fight or not fight? Anybody can answer?
He asked him to fight.
Asked him to fight. Any other answers?
He was asked to carry out his Kshatriya. It was his dharma to fight. So he has to fight because it is his dharma.
Okay, it is his dharma, so he was asked to fight. Right? Any other answers? What
He
happens
was
when
asked to fight thinking of Krishna.
Yes, that's very nice. That's very nice. So what happens is Krishna explains in the fourth chapter, end of fourth or fifth chapter, he explains that, right? So please remove your consciousness from all these material things and engage your consciousness in me. And then next he says, so Arjuna, get up and fight. So Arjuna gets confused. Should I engage your consciousness on you and meditate on you? Or should I get up and fight? You are saying two different things. Nishchitam bruhi tanme. You first be clear yourself and you tell me clearly what I need to do. Anyway, I'm saying I'll go to the jungle and meditate. Right? Now you're saying, then sometimes you're saying withdraw the consciousness from all these material things, engage it in me, and completely remember me. And another time you're saying get up and fight, which seems to be two contradictory activities. Right? So Nishchitam, you please be clear and tell me what you should do. Should I fight or should I not fight? Right? What is the answer to that? The answer is what Mataji is saying. Mam anusmara yudayacha. Now Krishna gave this task. This is something that devotees, if we understand very well, becomes very easy, because sometimes we also have this confusion. Mam anusmara. Fully your consciousness so deep inside, beyond mind, intelligence, false ego, senses, beyond soul, super soul, fully on Krishna. And we are fully remembering Krishna, seeing the beautiful form of Krishna from his lotus feet to his wonderful yellow dhoti, to his waist, navel. We are seeing beautifully the entire peacock feathers and the lotus petal eyes and the wonderful smile of Krishna and his entire countenance, his face, Kaustuba jewels, everything, and the Vaijayanti mala, and finally his smile. Now you're beautifully seeing Krishna, your heart is completely, your consciousness is completely drawn towards Krishna. And you don't have any, you externally, nothing, because you're fully absorbed in Krishna. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, Santaha Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti, Yam Shama Sundaram Acintya Gunaswarupam, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. So that beautiful form of Krishna we are seeing. So he is telling Arjuna, see that beautiful form of mine and cut the other person's throat. Is this possible? For one to be completely absorbed in Krishna and at the same time try to kill somebody else. Now this is a difficult thing, right? You can either be absorbed. People believe that if you're absorbed, you're in samadhi, you can't do anything. And if you're out external, you're fighting, you're engaged in the material world. You cannot too much think of Krishna. No. The devotee is advised to completely remember Krishna and completely be connected to Krishna and fight. So, which means that Krishna is completely taking control very lovingly of Arjuna, or in other words, Krishna is externally the Sarathi of Arjuna's rep, and internally also he is the Sarathi of Arjuna's action, right? Completely surrendered to Krishna. This is possible in one condition, which is two cases. One, obviously, when you are completely in love, like a father who is completely in love can always be thinking about his daughter or his son and completely thinking, how can I do something good for which college or which school should I take them in, what dress should I buy, what should I do for them, and doing that is doing job in the office, right? Or a mother is completely thinking about the child and what he or she likes and is cooking. So when you are in love, you can be completely absorbed but still doing something which is of service. That is called loving devotional service. Second, Arjuna also realizes that I am not killing anybody. When he hears the entire Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is personally present, if I release and all of these are not my relatives, they are soul caught in the body. If I release the soul, and I give this example of president coming in the Republic Day, and if suppose you and all your relatives are in a jail, he gives you the key and says, unlock everybody from the jail. Will you do that? Say yes. Yes, you unlock everybody from the jail. Similarly, when Krishna and Arjuna understands, I have to unlock all of these people, and when they get unlocked in the presence of Krishna, they will all go back home, back to God. So I have to do a service. So lovingly thinking of how merciful Krishna is. Previously, he was understanding Krishna as very not merciful, trying to kill everybody. Now he understands how, when he looks at the body level, when he looked at the soul level, he understood how Krishna is all merciful, and he's trying to see how Krishna is trying to serve everybody and take everybody back home, back to God, and he becomes an instrument in that service. So he's completely thinking about the merciful, loving nature of Krishna, and he's also then sending arrows to cut the head of somebody else, but actually releasing them from the prison of this material world. So that is when Arjuna is able to act like. To do that, what is the final instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. When like that is completely surrendered to Krishna, Krishna is instructing from the heart. And accordingly, Arjuna is doing. So he is not part of any karma, and in fact, he is doing devotional service completely as Krishna wants. When a person is like this, fully his consciousness is surrendered to Krishna, and he does not have bhogavancha, no enjoying propensity, and is completely, his heart is for love of Krishna, and that love he wants to serve Krishna, then he becomes completely in connection yoga with Krishna's bhakti yoga. And in that bhakti yoga, when he acts, he is like a sannyasi, completely internally being dictated by Krishna or his Guru Maharaj, who is also a transparent via media of Krishna. So internally he is getting those instructions, and externally he or she is acting like that. That is a perfect sannyasi. So here, the people who are reading Bhagavad Gita, they are not understanding this devotional service or the exalted of a Vaishnava who is so internally connected with Krishna, but are externally explaining other things. So Vishwarup, when he sees this, that they are reading Bhagavad Gita, but they are not coming to the ultimate conclusion, the very wonderful, ecstatic feeling when you are completely surrendered to Krishna. And then what happens? What is the biggest difference? If you say from the perspective of the soul can try and individually try and exploit the material energy. It's something temporarily, he might get something, but there's no permanent happiness. But when he connects back to the entire source of all Ananda, then the amount of bliss that comes is the bliss of the entire creation of all living entities, this material world, spiritual world, and the individual soul just cannot take it. They faint in ecstasy. There is so much ecstasy. So instead of getting into the source of ecstasy, they are trying to get, instead of drinking nectar, they are trying to get drops of some salt water, right? So that is why Vishwarup sees that, and also sees that they are not engaged in the ultimate service of what Krishna wants to do, and he is sad. Also, if you talk about from a perspective of Krishna, he is most happiest, like the father most happiest when the sons are cooperating, daughters are cooperating. Mother is most happiest when everybody is lovingly together. Krishna is most happiest when he sees all the souls not only trying to serve him, but to serve everybody else. Without doing that, when they speculate that I am God, I am going to merge with God, and so on and so forth, then Krishna becomes unhappy. Krishna becomes happiest when there is devotional service. And so also a Vaishnava, when he sees that Krishna is not being served properly and Krishna is being made unhappy, he becomes unhappy. So the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, when a devotee knows, he or she doesn't get into so-called confusions. They don't get into a temple either as a brahmachari or as a full-time devotee or a part-time devotee and say that I'm going to just do my sadhana and take rest. No. Neither do they say that I'm not bothered about my 16 rounds, but I'm just going to keep on doing service. No. Simultaneously, you have to do your sadhana so that your consciousness comes on Krishna. And constantly remembering Krishna, you should be going out and distributing books, serving the deity. And that is loving devotional service. So Prabhupada wanted us to come to this stage of not just sitting in samadhi in some temple or some jungle, or not just acting externally without thinking about Krishna, but simultaneously remembering Krishna and distributing books to destroy the material propensities of a jiva and to liberate them. To think of Krishna and do deity service, to think of Krishna and do sankirtan, think of Krishna and give, completely being absorbed in Krishna and giving less. That's why when Srila Prabhupada gives a lecture, I don't know whether he actually prepared a lecture or not, but when he gives the lecture, he's completely absorbed in Krishna, he closes his eyes and he speaks. And it is directly Krishna speaking. Right? That is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, or in other words, that is where Vishwarupa is getting to. He is seeing that one needs to be completely connected with Krishna and be like a sannyasi, completely act under the directions of Krishna, not be bothered about anything else. But he's seeing the so-called people who are teaching Bhagavad Gita doing something else. There is also, this entire scene is also shown in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this narration is happening. Sukdev Goswami is narrating to Parikshit Maharaj. The entire Bhagavatam, the assembly of sages, there are many, many people. They are Ashtanga yogis, they are Jnana yogis. There are also exalted devotees like Narada, Vyasdev, who was incarnation of the Lord himself. So from Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and general people and all of that, all these assembled people are there. There he is narrating Srimad Bhagavatam. And while he is narrating Srimad Bhagavatam, what happens? There comes a time in the 12th canto that he is completely absorbed in Krishna, and he tells Sukdev Goswami, now I am not afraid of any takshaka. I am completely absorbed. I'm in so much ecstasy. And now let me please just completely absorb, meditate on Krishna and leave my body. When you read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, at that point in time, what happens? Something similar happens. Uttara, who is the mother of Uttara's mother, right? Uttara's mother of Parikshit Maharaj, she comes running. And she says that something similar, she says, something different. She says, oh, I was here, but I was not able to hear carefully. Sometimes I couldn't come, but sometimes when I sat here and when I heard, I couldn't hear Srimad Bhagavatam and understand it properly. Why was that? Because I was thinking of our relation as that you are my son and you're soon going to be bitten by Takshaka. So I was very worried. And in that worry, I was not able to concentrate on what Sukdev Goswami was saying. But now I am seeing that you are going to leave your body, but you are not afraid at all. You are in bliss. Sorry. And again, you are unaware. You are unbothered, unrestricted by any external relationship, including that of I being your mother or anything else. You are in absolute bliss. Now then her heart changed. She thought her son is going to be very miserable, but she's saying her son is very happy and he wants to go where he wants to go. Then her heart changed. She asked, I want to know, what is that Sukdev Goswami told you that made you so blissful? I want to know the conclusion of Bhagavad. Second, I also see these wonderful devotees like Gopis and all these people who have so much love for Krishna. They are so much absorbed in Krishna. I can see you are also now so much absorbed in Krishna. And do they also go to the same spiritual world, same Vaikuntha as everybody else? Because I can see all these other sages, that she didn't say that, but I can see all these other sages also at different stages of bhakti, right, who are reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, but understanding some other conclusion. All of them go into the same place? Or is there a specific place for these wonderful gopis to go, right? And there again, Parishad Maharaj explains the two real core conclusions of Srimad Bhagavatam. What are those two conclusions as per Brihad Bhagavatamrita? What are the two conclusions?
Is it always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, Prabhu?
Gopis are the topmost of all devotees.
Gopis are topmost of all devotees, yes.
And Golokadam is the topmost destination.
Yes. Golokdam is the topmost destination. So he tells two pastimes to illustrate that how Gopis are the topmost devotees and their topmost destination is Golokdam. And there he gives the story of Gopakumar, who also gradually goes into different levels of devotional service, from being in here to going to Prayagraj to Jagannath Puri to Indralok to Brahmalok to coming back to Vrindavan again, going to the Brahmajyoti, coming back, going to Sadashiv Loka, coming to Vrindavan, going to entering Vaikuntha Loka, and then going to Ayodhya, then Dwaraka, and then coming back and then going to Golok Vrindavan itself, and the gradations of love for Krishna and how the love for Krishna develops. And ultimately, when you come to this conclusion that Krishna becomes most happy in the service as gopis are serving. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kanchitupasana Vrajavadum Varge Naya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Caitanya Mahaprabho Rasammatamidam Tatradaro Naparaham. This is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is that? Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya. The Lord we worship is Krishna in Braja, the Vrajendra Nandan Krishna, the Tribhanga, beautiful form, not Dwaraka Krishna, it's not that we don't worship them, but our concentration is on Vrajendra Nandan Krishna. The Krishna in Vraja, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanya, Tadhama Vrindavanam, in his highest abode, Golok Vrindavan. And Ramya Kanchit Upasana Vrajavadum, the way the gopis worship, that is the most exalted. They completely are unbothered about any of their material desires or what they get. They are not even given the status of a wife. They don't even bother about that. They only bother about even when Krishna leaves them going into the forest, they are worried, some stone or thorn should not be hurting the feet of Krishna. They are always thinking about Krishna's pleasure and not their pleasure. That highest form of worship, loving devotional service, following in the footsteps of Radharani and helping Radharani serve Krishna, the pleasure potency, giving pleasure to Krishna is the highest form of. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the proof. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Puvarto Mahan. The ultimate Purushartha is to get Krishna, that Krishna Prem, like following the footsteps of the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamitam. This is the opinion of Chaitanya. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother Vishwarup, absorbed in that kind of a love, when he sees these people engage in material things and taking Srimad Bhagavatam and concluding something else, he becomes very sad. Right? This is not the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. And you will see when you read 12th canto, after 6th chapter, you will see the sages again, after seeing how Parikshit Maharaj is disappeared and how he was absorbed completely in Krishna. Then they start asking what is given in the Vedas, what is given in the Tantras. Please tell us, how do we reach? How do we get this? Right? And ultimately, Sutta Goswami in Naimisharanya explains everything and then comes to the conclusion. What is the final conclusion? Bhagavatam. Right? What is the final conclusion? Final sloka in Bhagavatam?
Nama Sankirtanam, yes, sir.
Yes, Nama Sankirtanam, yes, sir. So just chant the holy names of Krishna. Same thing Sankaracharya chant Braja Govindam, chant the holy names of Krishna. You don't have to separately study XYZ. Just by chanting the holy names of Krishna, hearing the glories of Krishna, your heart will completely be absorbed in Krishna. So that Sankirtan moment has not been inaugurated in Navdeep, and all these people are misled, and Vishwarup is becoming very sorrowful, seeing all of this, and that is what we are seeing in the next sloka. सर्वस्थाने विश्वरूप ठाकुर वेदाया भक्ति योग न सुनिया बड़ा दुख पाया. As Lord Vishwarupa wandered here and there, he became unhappy because he did not hear anything about the devotional service to the Lord. Now, we will also mention something else. We are now entering, so you have seen the different stages of consciousness. Now we are entering the second topic on transformation of a heart of a devotee to become completely surrendered to Krishna or externally become sannyasi. A devotee does not become a sannyasi like the material people understand. If you ask a material person, a material grahamedhi, he or she will immediately say, look at a sannyasi, and their understanding is this person has got frustrated with material life. And why he or she got frustrated? Because either his wife or husband was misbehaving, or the children were not listening to him, or he lost all his wealth, or he had developed some health issues. He couldn't enjoy the material world properly, so he got frustrated and he has left it. That is their understanding of sannyasi. The moot point is, nobody becomes a real Vaishnava sannyasi by not being enjoying the material world. In fact, they become a sannyasi because they go from this bhogavancha, trying to enjoy the material world, to seva vancha, to serve. And in the seva vancha, the first stage is you are a brahmachari, you are serving, you're in the Gurukul or in the temple, you're doing some book distribution, XYD, you're serving. You can continue to serve like that selflessly, or you enter Grihastha life and you start serving your wife, your children, your mother, father, and the larger society, and you develop this selfless service attitude. As you go in Grihastha life or in Brahmacharya life, you will see that it will be less and less about yourself and more about what the temple wants, what your temple commander wants, what your temple president wants, or what your parents want, what your wife wants, children want, and less about what you want. And you start going into that selfless realms of service. And when he comes into Vanaprastha stage, then he tries to serve the larger set of people, advise young grahasthas, young brahmacharis, and go beyond his own family to a slightly more larger society. And finally, when he or she becomes so selfless that they are thinking about the entire Vasudeva Kudumbakam, the entire world as a family, and their heart is completely developed in love for Krishna, and they want to serve Krishna the best. Taking care of your child or your wife is also a way of pleasing Krishna, but now they want to fully satisfy Krishna. So you see that Krishna wants, and Radharani wants to deliver everybody. So in that largeness of heart, with so much of love, not with frustration, with so much of love, when they are ready to see the whole world as their family and try to serve everyone, and they are completely surrendered to Krishna in the heart, so that Krishna dictates to them, go here, go there, speak to this person, or their Guru Maharaj's instruction they want to fulfill, then they go beyond the constraints of Vanaprastha and Grihastha life and take sannyas. And then 3 days only they stay at a place or whatever, they go and as per the dictations internally, they go and serve everybody. So a person becomes sannyasi when his heart overflows with seva mancha, not the frustration of bhogavancha. So here you can see that transformation of the heart. Here Vishwarupa is a devotee, is obviously the part and parcel of the Lord, the expansion of the Lord. And he is looking to serve Krishna. His heart is overflowing with seva vancha, wanting to do what Krishna wants, right? And he wants to actually engage in devotional service. He is not frustrated with the material world, and hence his heart is beginning to transform. And when his heart is beginning to transform like that, then what is the important thing needed for somebody's heart to completely get Krishna Prem or completely get absorbed?
Purification.
What is required?
Purification.
Yeah. And how does that happen?
By chanting and hearing and association.
Mercy of a devotee.
Yes,
Yeah.
association and mercy of a very exalted Vaishnava. When he engages and serves Uttama Bhakta, then the progress to Uttama Bhakti and Krishna Prem becomes very fast. And that is what is going to happen. And that is Krishna's arrangement always. When somebody is eager to serve Krishna, he always arranges for a guru and he always arranges for a Uttama Bhakta to come in association with. And this, even after initiation, you get more and more close to your guru and other exalted devotees, depending on your desire to surrender completely to Krishna and serve his desire or guru's desire. That we are going to see, text 88. Sakale Advaita Sima Purna Krishna Shakti Padaya Vashishta Vakne Krishna Bhakti. Only the lion like Advaita being endowed with Krishna's potencies explained devotional service to Krishna while teaching Yoga Vashishta. While explaining Yoga Vashishta, Advaita Prabhu described devotional service to Krishna. Since he possessed Krishna's full potencies, his designation as Vaishnava Agragani, the topmost Vaishnava, was appropriate. Vishwarupa, the elder brother of Mahaprabhu, was particularly unhappy because of not hearing the topics of Hari anywhere in the world. He therefore felt great ecstasy on attaining the association of Advaita Prabhu. And this is the reciprocation. A devotee who's absorbed in Krishna, who wants to serve Krishna, becomes very happy on seeing a Vaishnava who's talking about devotional service to Krishna. And the Uttama Vaishnava is also very happy to see such a recipient who wants to hear about Krishna, like Sukdev Goswami, Parishit Maharaj. Sukdev Goswami encourages Parishit Maharaj, you want to hear so much, you have asked the very right question. I'm very happy to speak about this topic. So this reciprocation, when it is there, then devotional service catches up very, very fast. And see the potency of Advaita Acharya. There are others who are explaining Vaishnava literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and still not getting to Krishna and devotional service. Here, Advaita Acharya, Advaita Prabhu, he is looking at Yoga Vashishta, which is more Ashtanga Yoga and Yoga Shastra, and he is able to see Krishna's devotional service there and explain it in the light of devotional service. Bhagavatam also does that. It describes yoga and the attainment of yoga in the light of devotional service and serving to Krishna. And that is the symptom of a very, very Uttama Bhakta, advanced devotee. He can see Krishna everywhere. He can see Krishna in everything, everything in Krishna. That is a topic in itself we'll talk. And even in Yoga Vashishta, he is able to see the devotional service to Krishna. Text 89. Advaitera Vyakyaya Bunje Hena Kona Ache Vaishnavera Agraganya Nadiyara Maje. Who is able to understand the explanations of Advaita? He was the topmost Vaishnava in Nadi. Chaturdike Vishwarupa Payo Mano Dukha Advaitera Sthane Sabe Paya Prema Sukha. Wherever he went, Vishwarupa felt unhappy, yet he attained the happiness of ecstatic love in the association of Advaita. So here you see the real transformation. Advaita Acharya, what he explains about devotional service, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only Sridhar Swami knows something about what is there in Bhagavata. And if at all the others, the gopis, know what they are talking. So according to the love in your heart, you can understand to that extent, and it is infinite. As much your level develops, the same Srimad Bhagavatam, the same pastimes, you will understand more and more deeper. Because these are sometimes you see Grahasthas saying, I have not understood my wife still, or I have not understood my child still. There is not, I mean, even material understanding, material love, as much you get love, you understand better. Spiritual love is infinite, full of rasa. The same sentence of Bhagavatam, you will understand more and more and more deep, and you will get more and more rasa, depending on how much your love is progressing, consciousness is on Krishna. So, what Advaita Acharya explains, who can understand? Who has that level of love as the expansion of Krishna, or as Sadashiva, the expansion, or as Lord Hari? But he is there in the midst of Nadiya explaining. And who more exalted than Vishwarup could actually be listening to him? And when Vishwarup hence, who is looking at this, he's not looking at just normal things, ultimate discussions of devotional service, of how Krishna, in fact, this entire pastime is a epilogue to Bhagavatam, right? So that love of gopis and Krishna, and that love between Radharani and Krishna is what every devotee is coming and experiencing. And when Vishwarupa hears all of these things, he's seeing unhappiness everywhere else, mundane topics, jnana, samashtanga yoga, material, karma kanda. And here is devotional service, that also the highest quality, he becomes ecstatic. Right? So you can see this. And you can also, these few slokas explain the actual technicalities of where the misunderstanding develops. As you know in this chapter, Sachimata starts to think that Advaita Acharya is influencing my sons to become sannyasi. Actually, on the other hand, her own sons were unhappy because of this material association. And when they came in the association of Advaita Acharya, they actually became happy and realized the ultimate happiness. And so it is, Advaita Acharya was also actually providing their son unhappiness and not making them unhappy and influencing them as externally Sachimata was thinking. Unlike Uttara, when we come to that conclusion that I was too much thinking about my relationship with you as the son, and then trying to understand the entire pastime of Krishna and why Takshaka is coming to bite you, and I was sad. Now I see how Krishna has brought Sukdev Goswami and made you so much blissful, you have gone beyond death. So now I also want to understand what is the secret of Bhagavatam. So like that, when we understand the actual, and this was also happened when Akrura was taking away Krishna, many gopis, and of course they're exalted. And even Yashodamaya was wondering, why is he taking away? But he wanted to take Krishna away externally to kill Kamsa and help the whole world, go and meet all the devotees, deliver all the kings. And internally, here it was to come to the next stage of devotional service, which is Viraha. You first get in association with Krishna, develop the love, and when externally Krishna disappears, that love becomes more and more condensed. And unlike this material world, when it becomes condensed, you go closer to Krishna in the heart and it becomes more and more ecstatic. And 100 years when that ecstasy matures, Krishna comes back and takes them to Goloka. So the way Krishna acts externally appears very perplexing. Looks like he's separating devotees, but actually he's taking devotees to the ultimate destination, Goloka. And to go to the Goloka where this pure love resides, you have to pass through this viraha, and that is not sadness, but condensed, ecstatic focus on Krishna, which brings out an ecstasy which is unmatched, even probably when Krishna is in front of you. So, also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shishtastakam, Govinda Virahenami, and then the next sloka is about the separation, and then it is about the union. So first there is separation, there is meeting, love, and then so-called separation where the love becomes condensed. So when like Uttara and everything, Sachimata also understands, Advaita Acharya also chants the glories of Sachimata, and Sachimata also understands the glories of Advaita Acharya. She takes the dust from the lotus feet, as you will see in the future slokas, and that misunderstanding disappears. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses that externally to also demonstrate how Vaishnava Aparadha or any such negative feelings about Vaishnavas will block your path to Prema Bhakti. And when you actually see the right thing that Krishna, how Krishna is acting behind and how the Vaishnava is following the desire of Krishna and actually doing something that is for the benefit of you and all the devotees and bringing you closer to Krishna and bringing you closer to your Seva Vancha, then that negativeness in the heart disappears and one receives Prema Bhakti. So these are the slokas, which is a sutra, which reveal the heart of Vishwarupa. And hence, not because of Advaita Acharya's some plan or influence to make somebody a sannyasi, like Prabhupada gave the mercy to everybody, but some of the parents were also misunderstanding, and it also happened to me, it happened to everybody. Text 91, Niravadi thake Prabhu Advaitera Sange Vishwarupa Sahita Advaita Rasa Range. Vishwarupa constantly remained in the association of Advaita, and they both relished the mellows of ecstatic love. So like this, when one comes into the association of a very exalted Uttama Bhakta, then discussions of devotional service happens, And that virus, that love, the pollen grains of love actually enters the heart, and that virus affects the heart, and that is when this prema bhakti starts to come. And in that prema bhakti, the person is fully absorbed in Krishna, like the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. And in that absorption, he wants to serve what Krishna wants. He understands the mood and mission of his guru, and behind it, which is the mood of Radharani, which is the mood of the mother, to get all her sons and daughters back, all the souls back into the service of Krishna. All the sons who have gone away from the house, she wants everybody to come back into the house. And in that mood, the devotee wants to go out and serve according to the desires of Krishna, not according to his own desires, the entire uh, set of conditioned souls, the entire set of living entities. And when he comes in that mood, then the person takes up sannyas, right? Or in other words, becomes a completely surrendered devotee of Krishna. And that devotee, like Arjuna, sometimes Krishna might advise not to take sannyas and also do his bidding, but he is fully surrendered to do what Krishna wants him to do. And in this case, Vishwarup is going to progress towards sannyas. So we have seen 2 or 3 very important things in these 8 odd slokas, 8 to 9 slokas. One, we have seen the gradation of consciousness and where the consciousness is stuck for different people, right from gross materialist to Brahmavadis, and how devotees are unhappy when they see these different consciousness and people who are mixing up various things. We have also seen the conclusions of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and how the people who are in Jnana Yoga, Brahmavada are missing the point of devotional service to Krishna. It's one thing we have seen. Second, we have seen how the transformation of heart of somebody going towards sannyas or full surrender happens, not because of frustration with this material world. If you read the slokas externally, it looks like he was frustrated with everybody, and then we saw Advaita Acharya, and it's not with the frustration, but it is the fructification of seva mancha and love in the heart that transforms to just serving, just thinking about yourself, to thinking about your immediate family, to thinking about your immediate society, to thinking about your nation, to completely think about what Krishna wants and all the living entities, or in other words, the mood of Radharani. And third, we also seen some hints on the misunderstanding and the difference between of a mother naturally loves her child, but going beyond that natural love, but she wants to help the child, but sometimes she believes she can help the child the most, but sometimes the guru or the Vaishnava is the one who can help the child better. And so we have many, many exalted mothers in our society who have dedicated their children the service of Krishna, some of them as full-time brahmachari, sometimes of some other way. And they are not bothered just about how I can please my child and how your child can please me, but gone beyond that and see that how both of us can please Krishna. And that doesn't mean they have left their child or child has left them. Even when they have become brahmacharis, they take care of their mothers, the mothers take care, and we can say Gaurang Pro's mother, many other examples of exalted such Vaishnavis are there. Recently, I think this GEV Vada organized an entire trip for all the parents of the brahmacharis. And so they organized a special trip. They came to the temple, they visited. So there is so much care that is happening when both of them are together trying to serve Krishna. So this negative feeling of seeing that maybe Krishna is taking somebody away from me or something like that, to understanding how Krishna is helping me and him and all the other Vaishnavas, understanding the Krishna's purpose behind the Kurukshetra war and Bhagavatam and Akrura and everything, seeing Krishna behind everything. That is the third thing. That removes the speck of misunderstanding and the root of Vaishnava Prana. Those are the 3 things we have seen today in this 8-9 slokas. I'm very, very happy and thankful to everybody for this opportunity, for this wonderful association and discussion on these slokas. If there are some things where I've gone beyond the script and there is something, there could be so much lacuna, I beg for all your forgiveness. So if anybody has questions, comments, any different opinion, please happy to hear that. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Vishwarupa Prabhu ki jai. Gaur Nitai ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very wonderful class. Very nicely, I should say, very nice. Scrutinizingly, you took the class and you made us also to, means like you made us to be active throughout the class, not sleeping. So thank you so much for that, Prabhu. So dear devotees, do you have any questions or realizations? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for a very nice class. Lots of revelations today. I found it very, very interesting. First of all, I like the way you distinguish karma kanda versus karma yoga. That definition was very interesting. One is for our own. Karma kanda is mainly towards ourselves for our own benefit, while yoga, at least we're trying to dovetail our activities. There's some sacrifice towards Krishna. That was a very nice way of distinguishing the two. So thank you so much. And then about this question, actually, yeah, it was so pertinent, right? When Krishna says, Ma manusmara yudhyacha, how come when you're thinking of Krishna, who's so pleasant, who's so beautiful, how can you be shooting and the arrows at someone else and cutting their throat? That was something I never thought of, and that is so true. And the answer you gave was also so nice, that it is because Krishna is the one who's actually taking control. Very, very, very nicely you explained that in great detail. And then the topic about the cause of sannyas, why one would take sannyas. Very rightly you mentioned, if he really has mercy towards everybody and it's seva vancha, that is the real cause for one taking sannyas. That was such a nice point to meditate on. And of course, about Srimad Bhagavatam, depending on how much love you have, that much Srimad Bhagavatam keeps revealing to us. Every time we make the statement, yeah, Bhagavatam reveals newly every time you read it. It has so many dimensions. So every time it reveals newly. But then how? Why? That I think I got the answer. It just depends on how much love, with what love you are approaching Bhagavatam. Such a lovely class, Prabhu. I had so many takeaways today. Thank you so much. It was very meditative. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that wonderful recap. It is always necessary for this recap for me, for a person like me who is not at all attentive in the class. Thank you so much, Mataji. Anybody else? Any questions or realizations? Okay. So thank you, Prabhu. I think, yeah. We don't have any hand raise or questions in the chat box also. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your very wonderful association and your time. And with your permission, we can end the call here, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatrupesha kripa sindhu pevacha patetanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vindiki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, His Grace Acintya Gopesh Prabhuji ki Jai, Chaitanya Bhagavat ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.